Hello everyone and welcome to my General Hospital Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Carly thinks Brennan is troubled. Sidwell explains the plan. According to General Hospital spoilers for Thursday, February 27th, Sonny Corinthos receives a warning about retaliation, and Carly Spencer will anticipate some Jack Brennan trouble. Let's discuss what's happening in Port Charles since Jen Sidwell will also have a schedule. Carly will ask Brennan a light-hearted inquiry at Charlie's pub. Carly will ask with a smile and obviously won't be too worried, even though she will wonder what kind of havoc Brennan has been causing. However, on Thursday's GH episode, Carly will be shaken by unexpected news. It might be necessary for Brennan to stand with Carly while remaining silent about the true situation. Brennan informed Joss that she is leaving tonight, because Jocelyn Jacks has now joined the WSB in secret. Carly might suspect something is amiss and get anxious as a result, but Jocelyn will probably give some fake excuse for leaving town. Of course, since Sidwell will also take Lucy Coe to the pub and give away another motivation, it's feasible that Carly will run into him. Sidwell will tell Lucy about his plans to eat there, but he will also keep some other secrets. Sidwell might make an effort to talk to Carly and express his sympathies for Michael Corinthos' dreadful situation. Carly might become apprehensive that Sidwell is the one who targeted Sonny's apartment and wonder what he will do next. Tracy Quartermaine will be informed by Martin Gray at the Quartermaine mansion that the cease and desist conversation needs to be brought up again. Tracy wants to stop Drew from using the Quartermaine last name, but the family is against her because Scout Quartermaine might also be impacted. In Thursday's GH episode, we'll see what Martin has to say about the matter. Trina Robinson may confess that she just kissed Kai Taylor when she opens up to Stella Henry in another scene. Now that Trina is genuinely moving on from Spencer Cassadine, it should evoke some complex feelings. Harrison Chase's plan to use Hamilton Finn as a sperm donor was recently shared with Lois Cerullo by Brooke Lynn Quartermaine. Chase departed with a dejected expression since Brooke Lynn's response wasn't particularly favorable. Lois doesn't want Brooke Lynn to feel under pressure to make any significant decisions, even though it would make her question whether they should actually implement Chase's suggestion. On Thursday's episode, Lois argues, "You must be certain that this is what you want." Naturally, there would also be some discussion regarding whether Brooke Lynn ought to find the child she placed for adoption. If it appears that Brooke Lynn could genuinely need Chase's assistance in locating her adult kid, Lois might become anxious. Chase will confess that he needs to strike something in the boxing gym and tell Dante Falconeri how frustrated he is. Dante might learn more about Chase's proposed sperm donor and how Brooke Lynn obviously didn't like utilizing Finn. Additionally, would Chase reveal that Brooke Lynn placed a baby for adoption when she was a teenager, or will he keep her a secret? Depending on how much Chase actually spills, Dante's life may begin to take a different turn. Laura Collins will inform Sonny at the hospital that there is no space for reprisals. Now that Jason Morgan has been blamed for Cyrus Renault's death and the cabin cleanup, there might be worries. If Sonny discovers who set Jason up, Laura might advise him not to exacerbate an already difficult situation. However, since Sonny's territory may be impacted, Laura's warning may be directed at Sidwell, Drew, and the entire Esplanade scenario. In any event, Laura will want to avoid starting another risky PC feud, but it might be too late. Lulu Spencer will weep at Lucky Spencer's hospital bedside and urge him not to frighten people like that ever again. Lulu will be shook up because Lucky had a near miss. Since Lulu had discovered she had lost Luke Spencer when she woke up, she will also inform Lucky that she cannot lose him. Lulu will address a few suspicions at Thursday's performance. Given that Lulu is known to begin sniffing around in Brooke Lynn's plot, she may hear something that makes her uneasy. According to General Hospital spoilers, Lulu may be the one to discover that Giovanni Gio Palmieri is the child of Brooke Lynn and Dante. We'll provide you with further predictions about what will happen next. Willow's baby is coming. Drew Nina's daddy, was the hint correct? According to General Hospital teasers, Willow Corinthos may finally learn that she is expecting a child. If Nina Reeves' daddy Drew Quartermaine clue turns out to be accurate, let's think about how this could play out. Even though Willow put a stop to Drew's plan to move in with him, he believes she will soon change her mind. Drew discussed marriage preparations with Nina in the episode that aired on February 25th, because he wants to establish a blended family with Willow. Nina then implied that Drew might also like to have a child with Willow. Nina had a suspicion that Drew might feel compelled to conceive Willow now that Jason Morgan was expecting a child with Sasha Gilmore Corbin. We could definitely understand Drew feeling a little competitive with Jason here, even though he denied it. Fans of GH are aware that Jason isn't Sasha's baby's biological father, but he is pretending to be so. Drew might feel pressured to get Willow pregnant next in order to stay up with Jason. In the end, Drew might recommend to Willow that they become parents to a kid together. Given that Scout Quartermain has already experienced the loss of her mother, Sam McCall, Drew may even be a little manipulative in suggesting that she would enjoy a new sibling. Maybe Drew could use this as evidence that the entire craziness of the affair could lead to something constructive. Drew would contend that it would complete the family they are creating together. However, it's possible that Willow won't even have time to think about all of this. Willow might have to deal with a gorgeous baby curveball because surprise soap opera pregnancies are common. After learning that Drew had an affair with Nina, Willow may possibly discover she has a secret. Would a baby help Willow forgive Drew for his dishonesty and salvage their relationship? In any event, Nina recently gave Willow a hint about a possible pregnancy. Whether Willow actually becomes pregnant with Drew's child will be interesting to see. No matter how it all turns out, Willow's situation is going to grow complicated, according to our GH predictions. According to General Hospital spoilers, Willow will need to process some significant events over the next few months, so keep checking back for more information on all the exciting news that lies ahead. Joss accepts Jack's offer to join the WSB after Drew throws Jason under the bus. Wednesday, February 26, 2025. On General Hospital Today, Drew lies to Willow's face, Chase gives Brooklyn a shocking notion, and Tracy's family disapproves of her most recent action. Brooklyn discovers Chase getting dressed in their room. He clarifies that he is going to the gym to meet Dante, but first he believes he has figured out how to have their own child. In order for their child to be a part of both of them, he advises asking Finn to donate sperm. Has he discussed this with Finn already? Asks Brooklyn. Chase claims that although he would never speak to Finn before her, they might do it tonight if she agrees. According to Brooklyn, this is a big decision that requires careful consideration. She seems to detest it, he observes. Although she is aware that it is impossible, she still wants to have his child rather than his brother's. She notes that Finn may not want them to raise his biological child because he takes fatherhood seriously. She adds that Molly and Christina attempted this path, but it didn't work out. When their child ultimately discovers that their father is their uncle, she wonders what will happen. Do they need to know? Asks Chase. According to Brooklyn, she would never wish for their child to feel like a consolation prize. Chase says he has to meet Dante at the gym. He wants them to be open and honest with each other at all times, but she feels like she let him down. Tracy's relatives don't agree with her. Tracy informs the family in the living room that Drew is not permitted to use the Quartermain name, due to a court ruling. Tracy doesn't want Drew to damage their family name, even if Gio, Ned, and Lois Olivia all in disbelief. What about Scout? Says Lois. Tracy claims that she will always be a Quartermain, and that she is Alan's granddaughter. So why must Drew be a Kane? Lois asks. Gio notes that Scout will prefer to have her father's last name because he never knew his own. She won't feel like a Quartermain if she doesn't have the name. Olivia concurs, saying that Scout has already experienced enough. She lost both her mother and her house. Tracy claims that she is attempting to shield her father's legacy from Drew's schemes. According to Lois, Edward did an excellent job of damaging the family name. Lois is informed by Tracy that she is a visitor, so leave. Tracy asks Gio if he has any further thoughts before Lois storms off. Gio informs Tracy that you can't throw someone out just because you don't like them, since family is family. Ned and Olivia concur that punishing Drew will only hurt Scout. Gio is informed by Tracy that he has no voice in this since he is not a Quartermain, but he would be superior to Drew if he were. When Lois visits, Brooklyn shares with her mother what Chase said about his brother's potential as a sperm donor. Neither Brooklyn nor Lois saw that one coming, and she is unsure of what to do. Trina and Kai create art. Kai continues his painting at the museum while Trina returns to the stepladder to finish hers. She inquires as to whether he believes he would still be playing football if he hadn't met her. Kai informs her that he knows Quinn spoke to her, and that nothing she did diverted him during that last game. According to Kai, Quinn is merely seeking someone to place the blame on because he may experience the same thing. Unavoidable injuries occur, and his luck ran out. He would be going crazy right now if it weren't for her, thus he doesn't want to consider never meeting her. He inquires as to Quinn's motivation for avoiding him. She acknowledges that she organized his life on her own initiative, and that she ought to have accepted his choices. He acknowledges that she was aggressive, but she also pushed him to be more open and understand that life is about more than sports. After they resume their work, Kai catches Trina after she stumbles and falls. After that, they approach to share a kiss. Special Agent Joss Jacks of the WSB. Joss informs Jack in his office that she is a college student and not a spy. He assures her that they will train her, and that she possesses the skills required for the position, including the desire to change the world. Since she told Cyrus about the inquiry into him and Jack gave her the information that brought her to the cabin, she believes he is mistaken. Jack contends that she worked out the clues he merely offered her. To be honest, he didn't anticipate that she would carry a firearm into the cabin. Nevertheless, she had no choice but to kill Cyrus. She probably saved many more lives, he notes. Jack converses with Joss Jach. Jack informs her that she will have to work covertly, and that she cannot disclose her employment with the WSB to anybody, not even her mother. Why would she want to work for them, Joss asks. Covert work helps change the world, he assures her. He is giving her a life and a profession where she can use her intelligence and athletic prowess to change the world. He inquires as to if she is studying anything comparable at school. She acknowledges she isn't. How did she feel about preventing Dex's killer from killing again? He asks. I felt like he did something good, she says. According to Jack, sometimes you have to go outside the system for the greater good since there are a lot of other dangerous people out there. Jack and Joss discuss WSB. He responds that they have others to kill people when Joss insists she won't. He assures her that she can access places and ask questions that others cannot, and that she is and will continue to be a college student. How does that sound to her, he asks. He might put her in jail, so she feels that she doesn't have much of an option. Jack and Joss discuss it. According to Jack, a compelled agent is useless to him. He is providing her with the chance to positively impact the world and push herself to new heights. But it's okay if she doesn't want it. Regardless of her decision, he requests that she never bring this up to her mother so that they can forget it, and she can pursue her environmental science degree. Do you really think she'd make a good agent? Joss says. She wants to do it for the reasons he mentioned as well as for Dex because he does. Excellent, he responds, and she departs tonight. Stella and Curtis conspire against Drew. Stella informs Curtis that she spoke with her buddy, Congressman Doug Henderson, when she was in the hospital. He must persuade Doug that Drew is only interested in himself when he meets with Congressman Henderson, she continues. Curtis and Stella discuss Drew. Stella poses as Doug while Curtis tries an approach on her. He informs Doug that Drew's desire to serve on the Appropriations Committee is solely to exact revenge on Aurora, the firm he built but had taken away. His desire for vengeance will harm the residents of Port Charles because he is attempting to overthrow the McConkey Esplanade, who served as both his tutor and forerunner. Aurora is a significant employer in Port Charles, and that Esplanade will boost the city's economy. Stella and Curtis scheme. Stella believes it will be successful. She expresses her pride in Curtis while yet being concerned that Drew will take revenge. Curtis claims that she and his mother have always taught him to stand up for what's right, and that it is morally correct to take down Drew. Ada Turner at the PCPD asks Drew if Jason was at his house last night during the hours that are thought to have been associated with Cyrus' murder. So this is what it has come down to, says Drew. As a congressman, Jason is using his position to hide his crime. Drew accuses Jason of lying when he claims he was home alone. Although he can sympathize with Jason's animosity for Cyrus, he is unable to lie on his behalf, even when he offers to sign an official statement. Carly snaps at Drew because of the person he's turned into. Jason is transported to booking as directed by the ADA. Are you okay with all of this? Carly says, glancing at Willow. How on earth did that happen to you? Willow asserts that Drew is being truthful if he claims he wasn't with Jason. Carly informs Willow that Drew is not the man she believes him to be, and describes him as a man who is determined to put his brother in jail. Willow is having an affair with a man who doesn't exist, so she tells her to wake up. When Willow asks Drew if they may leave, he responds that they can and that he would provide the ADA with his statement tomorrow. In the meantime, Anna informs Turner that Jason's DNA is insufficient to convict him, and that she is getting ahead of herself. Detective Bennett will take over the case and locate all the necessary evidence, according to Turner. When Diane shows up, she speaks with ADA Turner. Diane contends that anything Jason said before she arrived, including providing an alibi, will be disregarded. Carly pleads with Anna to take action. Because she and Jason are buddies, Anna informs Carly that Turner dismissed her from this case. "I need to get Jason out of that cell and back with his son," Carly adds. Anna believes Diane should decide that. Carly is informed about Michael J.H. by Anna. Carly needs to know, Anna informs her, because Cyrus nearly succeeded in making Michael one of his victims. Carly wants to thank whoever killed Cyrus, therefore she wants to know who it is. Jason and Diane meet in the questioning room. She claims that an alibi is a new strategy for him, and believes that his son is the reason for his changed priorities. He insists that he has never been to the cabin, and is unaware of its location. Who wants to frame him, she wonders. He is unsure, but he would never make a mistake that would result in the loss of his DNA. But whomever planted it made Cyrus appear guilty by using the fact that he openly threatened him. Diane and Jason G.H. meet. When Carly requests the ADA to talk to Jason, she responds that she is not yet able to. Carly is asked by Turner why Jason would give a false alibi. Carly claims that Drew, like every other congressman in Washington, D.C., is lying. Although there isn't a body to accuse Jason of killing, Turner claims that many people heard Jason vow to make Cyrus vanish. In addition, he had a reason Cyrus killed Sam. The ADA G.H. and Carly. When Anna checks in with Jason, she informs him that although she has been removed from his case, she is still committed to finding Cyrus' body. Jason claims she won't because a professional who doesn't leave traces took out Cyrus. She thinks about that. When Diane returns with the judge's order to free Jason, the judge concurs that there is no case. Diane is adamant that she will oppose Turner's assertion that they will still present a case. Carly tells Anna that she's relieved this is over, and Diane goes with Jason to be processed. It's not, according to Anna, and Jason was set up by whatever killed Cyrus. Jason will return here in the event that Cyrus' body is located. She is committed to identifying the person who planted the evidence and framed Jason. Willow takes up residence. After taking Willow home, Drew expresses his sincere regret for the incident at the station. Why Carly kept calling him a liar is beyond Willow's comprehension. He says that's Carly's MO right now and that she should ask him anything she wants to. He thanks her for trusting in him, and she doesn't have any questions. She is aware of their connection. He accepts her and she doesn't need to act fake around him. Carly pretends that he took her away from Michael. She wants everyone to know that she fully chooses Michael, even if she regrets how he found out. Willow says she would love to move in with him and the kids. They share a kiss. Willow G.H. is deceived by Drew. Chase lets Dante know how frustrated he is on the next General Hospital. Brooke Lynn is informed by Lois that this is her decision. Carly is curious about Jack's recent activities. Tracy is informed by Martin that the cease and desist conversation needs to be brought up again. Sidwell removes Lucky once more. Sunny is cautioned by Laura not to strike back. Lulu begs her brother, who is still asleep, that she cannot lose him as well. Drew's threat, Kai's chance, Carly's boundaries, and Jason's proof. Don't let a second pass. Today's General Hospital is full with deadly threats, dramatic turns, furious mayhem, and profound duplicity. The preview footage for Tuesday, February 25, 2025, has been made public, according to General Hospital spoilers. Jason Morgan is shown asserting that he has evidence to clear his name. Carly Spencer and Jack Brennan establish limits. Kai Taylor is urged to take a gamble by Trina Robinson. Additionally, Nina Reeves is threatened by Drew Kane Quartermain. Let's discuss what will happen in today's ABC soap opera episode as you continue reading. The proof of Jason Morgan. Jason is likely to maintain his innocence on Tuesday, February 25. Fans are aware that Cyrus Renault was killed by Jocelyn Jacks in self-defense. Brennan then instructs his staff to tidy up everything but one item. As it happens, the one thing that was discovered at the cabin was probably Jason's hairs. Jason, however, informs Anna Devane that he can provide proof that he was not in the cottage. What Carly Spencer can and cannot do. She discusses their connection with Brennan over with Carly. Carly informs him in the trailer that if this is a fling, it must end immediately. It would appear like Carly is beginning to feel something for Brennan. Just bide your time until Carly learns about Brennan's secrets, particularly those pertaining to Joss. The danger of Drew Kane Quartermain. According to today's General Hospital spoilers, Drew and Nina have a brief altercation. Drew threatens Nina in the promo video. Drew threatens to take Willow Tate Corinthos away from Nina forever if she doesn't agree. The most significant individual in Nina's life is Willow. Drew appears to be on the verge of collapse. Drew seemed to form more perilous friendships and adversaries every week. February 25, 2025, Tuesday. Additionally, fans can anticipate a sit-down with Portia Robinson and Jordan Ashford. Jordan confesses to the Good Doctor that she finds it difficult to believe this information herself. Trina makes an effort to persuade Kai to take a chance elsewhere. There are some issues, despite the fact that Trina and Kai appear to be falling for each other. Kai's friends and teammates appear to be a potential problem to start. That usually implies Trina will prove herself to everyone in the soap opera, of course. Brad Cooper and Selena Wu also meet. Brad is assured by the mob queen that his debt would be settled in any case. Carly suspects Brennan trouble. Sidwell shares agenda. The room was tense, the air thick with unspoken accusations and simmering distrust. Carly stood by the window, her arms crossed tightly over her chest, her gaze fixed on the bustling city below. Her mind, however, was far from the serene view. It was racing, piecing together fragments of conversations, subtle glances and recent events that had left her uneasy. Brennan, her once trusted ally, had been acting strangely, too secretive, too evasive. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was off, that trouble was brewing beneath the surface. It wasn't just Brennan's behavior that had her on edge. Sidwell, the enigmatic figure who had recently entered their orbit, seemed to have his own agenda. Carly had always been perceptive, a skill honed through years of navigating treacherous waters in both her personal and professional life. She had learned to trust her instincts, and right now they were screaming at her to be cautious. Sidwell's charm and calculated words were a facade, she was sure of it. But what was he hiding? And how did Brennan fit into his plans? The sound of the door opening snapped Carly out of her thoughts. She turned to see Brennan walking in, his usual confident demeanor slightly faltering under her scrutinizing gaze. "We need to talk," she said, her voice firm but laced with concern. Brennan hesitated, a flicker of unease crossing his face before he nodded and took a seat. Carly remained standing, her posture defensive, her eyes never leaving his. "What's going on, Brennan?" she asked, cutting straight to the point. "You've been distant, evasive. I can't help but feel like you're keeping something from me." Brennan shifted uncomfortably in his seat, avoiding her gaze. "It's nothing, Carly. Just a lot on my plate right now," he replied, his tone dismissive. But Carly wasn't buying it. She had known Brennan long enough to recognize when he was lying. "Don't give me that," she shot back, her voice rising. "We've always been honest with each other. If something's wrong, I need to know." Brennan sighed, running a hand through his hair. "It's complicated," he said finally. "There are things I can't talk about right now. But you have to trust me." Carly's eyes narrowed. "Trust you? That's hard to do when you're shutting me out." Before Brennan could respond, the door opened again and Sidwell stepped in, his presence immediately shifting the dynamic in the room. He was impeccably dressed, his sharp suit and polished shoes a stark contrast to the tension-filled atmosphere. "Am I interrupting?" he asked, his tone smooth and unreadable. Carly forced a smile, though her guard was up. "Not at all," she said, her voice steady. "We were just having a conversation." Sidwell's gaze flicked between Carly and Brennan, a knowing smile playing on his lips. "Good," he said, "because I think it's time we all got on the same page." He walked over to the table and placed a folder in front of them, opening it to reveal a series of documents and photographs. Carly's eyes scanned the contents, her heart sinking as she realized the implications. Brennan looked equally stunned, his earlier composure crumbling. "What is this?" Carly asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Sidwell leaned against the table, his expression calm but calculating. "This," he said, gesturing to the documents, "is the reality we're dealing with. Brennan has been working on something that could change everything. But it's not without risks, and it's not without consequences." Carly's mind raced as she processed the information. The documents outlined a plan, a dangerous, high-stakes plan that Brennan had been keeping from her. She felt a mix of anger and betrayal, but also fear. If this plan went wrong, it could destroy everything they had worked for. "Why didn't you tell me?" she demanded, turning to Brennan. He looked down, unable to meet her gaze. "I wanted to protect you," he said quietly. "I thought I could handle it on my own." Sidwell interjected, his tone almost soothing. "Brennan had his reasons, Carly. But now that you're in the loop, we can move forward together. This plan, if executed correctly, could give us the upper hand. But we need to be united. No secrets, no hesitation." Carly's instincts told her to be wary. Sidwell's words were persuasive, but there was something about him that she didn't trust. He was too smooth, too calculated. She couldn't shake the feeling that he had his own agenda, one that might not align with theirs. "And what's in it for you?" she asked, her eyes narrowing. Sidwell smiled, a slow, deliberate smile that sent a chill down her spine. "Let's just say our interests align for now." The room fell silent, the weight of Sidwell's words hanging in the air. Carly knew they were at a crossroads. Trusting Brennan and Sidwell meant stepping into the unknown, risking everything they had built. But refusing to cooperate could leave them vulnerable, exposed to even greater dangers. She took a deep breath, her mind racing as she weighed her options. "All right," she said finally, her voice steady. "But on one condition. No more secrets. If we're doing this, we do it together. All of us." Brennan nodded, relief washing over his face. Sidwell's smile widened, though his eyes remained inscrutable. "Agreed," he said. "Now let's get to work." As the meeting continued, Carly couldn't shake the feeling that they were playing a dangerous game. Brennan's secrets, Sidwell's agenda, and the high-stakes plan they were about to undertake. It all felt like a house of cards, one wrong move away from collapsing. But she also knew that backing out wasn't an option. They were in too deep, and the only way out was through. Over the next few days, Carly threw herself into the plan, her sharp mind and strategic thinking proving invaluable. But she kept a close eye on Brennan and Sidwell, her suspicions never far from the surface. Brennan seemed genuinely committed to making things right, but Sidwell remained an enigma. He was always there, always watching, his motives unclear. One evening, as Carly was reviewing the latest developments, she received a message from an unknown number. The text was brief but chilling. "Don't trust Sidwell. He's not who he says he is." Carly's heart raced as she read the words. She had always suspected that Sidwell had his own agenda, but this confirmed her fears. The question was, who had sent the message? And what did they know? She decided to confront Brennan, hoping he might have some insight. When she found him, he was deep in thought, his expression troubled. "We need to talk," she said, showing him the message. Brennan's eyes widened as he read it, his face pale. "Where did you get this?" he asked, his voice tense. "I don't know," Carly admitted. "But it confirms what I've been feeling. Sidwell is dangerous, Brennan. We can't trust him." Brennan hesitated, his mind clearly racing. "I know," he said finally. "But we're in too deep to back out now. If we confront him, it could blow everything up." Carly nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. "Then we need to be smart about this," she said. "We play along, but we keep our eyes open. And we find out what he's really after." As the days turned into weeks, Carly and Brennan worked tirelessly to stay one step ahead of Sidwell. They uncovered fragments of his past, pieces of a puzzle that painted a disturbing picture. Sidwell wasn't just a businessman with a hidden agenda. He was a manipulator, a master of deception who had left a trail of destruction in his wake. But what was his endgame, and how did they fit into it? The tension reached a boiling point during a crucial meeting. Sidwell laid out the final stages of the plan, his confidence unwavering. But Carly and Brennan had their own plan, one they had been quietly working on in the shadows. As Sidwell spoke, Carly exchanged a glance with Brennan, a silent signal that it was time to act. There's just one problem, Carly said, interrupting Sidwell. He turned to her, his expression calm but his eyes sharp. And what's that? He asked, his tone deceptively mild. Carly took a deep breath, her heart pounding. We know the truth about you, she said. And we're not going to let you use us for your own gain. Sidwell's smile faded, replaced by a cold, calculating stare. You're making a mistake, he said, his voice low and dangerous. You have no idea what you're up against. Brennan stepped forward, his voice steady. We know enough, he said. And we're not afraid of you. The room erupted into chaos as Sidwell's true colors were revealed. He was a formidable opponent, but Carly and Brennan were determined to stand their ground. The battle of wits and wills that followed would test their resolve, their loyalty, and their ability to outmaneuver a master manipulator. In the end, it was their trust in each other that gave them the strength to prevail. Sidwell's plans were thwarted, his agenda exposed. But the victory came at a cost. The experience had changed them, leaving scars that would take time to heal. Carly and Brennan emerged stronger, their bond forged in the fires of adversity. As they stood together, looking out at the city that had been both their battlefield and their sanctuary, Carly couldn't help but reflect on the journey they had been through. It had been a test of trust, loyalty, and resilience. And while the road ahead was uncertain, she knew that as long as they stood together, they could face whatever challenges lay ahead. Jason Morgan's return to General Hospital has sent shockwaves through Port Charles, but not everything is as it seems. The beloved enforcer, played by Steve Burton, finds himself at the center of a massive conspiracy, and all signs point to him being framed for a crime he didn't commit. With danger closing in and allies in short supply, the question remains, who will come to Jason's rescue? Jason's shocking return and immediate trouble. Jason Morgan's sudden reappearance in Port Charles was met with mixed emotions. While his loved ones, including Carly Corinthos and Sam McCall, were stunned to see him alive, his return came with serious complications. The moment he stepped back into town, he was met with accusations and allegations that seemed designed to paint him as a criminal mastermind. Jason has always been known for his loyalty, integrity, and his unwavering code. However, someone is determined to tarnish his reputation. Evidence has surfaced that links him to a series of crimes, including a high-profile assassination attempt and an arms deal gone wrong. But the deeper Jason digs, the more obvious it becomes that he is being set up. Who wants Jason out of the picture? The list of people who would want Jason Morgan out of the way is long. Over the years, he has made countless enemies. Could it be a rival mobster trying to remove Sonny Corinthos' most trusted enforcer? Or is it someone within Port Charles law enforcement who sees Jason as a threat? One possibility is Cyrus Renaud, who has a history of trying to manipulate events from behind the scenes. If he is still pulling strings from the shadows, Jason's return could have been an unwelcome complication. Another potential suspect is Valentine Cassadine. Though he has often played both sides of the fence, Valentine's growing influence in Port Charles could mean that Jason is a threat to his plans. Then there's the wild card, an unknown enemy. Perhaps someone from Jason's past has resurfaced, seeking revenge for an old grudge. Whoever it is, they have gone to great lengths to ensure that Jason is the prime suspect in crimes he didn't commit. Carly Corinthos, will she save Jason? If there is one person who will stop at nothing to clear Jason's name, it's Carly Corinthos. The bond between Jason and Carly has always been unbreakable, and she will not stand by while he is framed. Carly has taken charge in the past, running Sonny's empire when needed, and she will not hesitate to take drastic measures to prove Jason's innocence. Carly's first move would be to investigate who stands to gain from Jason's downfall. With her sharp instincts and resourcefulness, she could uncover clues that point to the real culprit. But will she be able to act before Jason is taken into custody, or worse? Sonny Corinthos, a complicated ally. Sonny and Jason have always had a deep brotherhood, but their relationship has been strained since Jason's absence. Now that Jason is back and in trouble, will Sonny step up to defend him? While Sonny would usually protect Jason without question, recent tensions in his personal life may make things more complicated. With Sonny's enemies circling, he has to be careful about how he involves himself in Jason's predicament. If Sonny moves too aggressively, he risks making himself a target. But if he hesitates, Jason could end up taking the fall for something he didn't do. Will Sonny put everything on the line to help his best friend? Sam McCall. A woman torn between the law and her heart. Sam McCall has a history of getting involved in Jason's legal troubles. As a private investigator, she has the skills to uncover who is setting Jason up, but things are more complicated now. With her focus on her children and her desire to stay away from the mob world, will she risk everything to clear Jason's name? Sam's deep feelings for Jason have never truly gone away, and if she believes he's innocent, she may be the key to proving it. Her connections in law enforcement, combined with her investigative instincts, could help her find the proof needed to expose the true culprit. However, if she steps in, she risks being dragged back into a life she worked hard to leave behind. Dante Falconeri. A lawman with a moral dilemma. Dante Falconeri, as a detective, has always walked a fine line when it comes to Jason. While he upholds the law, he also knows that Jason has a strict moral code. If Dante starts to suspect that Jason is being framed, he could be one of the few people within the PCPD willing to dig deeper. But will Dante risk his career to help Jason? If he starts investigating the case from the inside, he may uncover corruption or forces working against Jason from within law enforcement. That could put Dante in as much danger as Jason himself. Spinelli. The hacker who could crack the case. Damian Spinelli, Jason's longtime friend and tech genius, may be the best hope for uncovering the truth. If there's digital evidence being used against Jason, Spinelli can hack into systems, retrieve deleted files, and track down the people responsible for setting Jason up.